In his Hairwing Wickham, Rob Denson uses fox squirrel hair to add a novel twist to a classic pattern. With the hook secured in the vise, run the tying thread on just behind the eye, securing the loose end in with a few turns of thread, and then trim it off. That done, carry the thread down the shank in close turns until it reaches a position roughly opposite the barb. The tail comprises a few fibres of ginger cock hackle, which are torn from the stem and then offered up to the hook so the waist ends lie along the shank, providing a base for the body. The rib consists of fine oval gold tinsel or wire, so cut a couple of inches from the spool, and then offer it up to the hook, catch it in place, with a couple of turns of thread, and then carry the thread up over the waist ends of the hackle fibres and tinsel to create a nice flat base for the body. Now the body comprises a length of flat gold tinsel, so take about 3 inches and cut one end to a point, offer the tinsel up to the hook and catch it in by that point, and then begin to wind it down the shank in touching turns, making sure that they don't overlap. Carry on winding the tinsel until it reaches the base of the tail. That done, wind it back over itself again in close turns. Doing this double layer actually prevents any lumps and bumps forming. So when the tinsel's reached its catching in point, hold the loose end, secure it, 2 or 3 turns of thread, and then simply trim off the waist end. Now the body hackle for this pattern is a rather handsome Grizzle hen hackle dyed golden olive. So it's prepared by stripping away the fibres from the base of the hackle to leave a short section of stem, and then it's offered up to the hook and then caught in place just behind the eye. So with the hackle now attached at the eye by its stem, take hold of it by its tip using a pair of hackle pliers and then begin to wind it over the shank, make a couple of turns close together, and then carry on winding it down the shank in evenly spaced turns. Keep winding it until it reaches the base of the tail, and then leaving it parked there, take hold of the tinsel and begin to wind it up through the hackle, giving it a little wiggle from side to side just to make sure it doesn't trap too many fibres, instead of just having it locking the stem to the body of the hook. Keep that tinsel going until it reaches the front of the hackle, stroke the fibres back, and then just secure that loose end in place. So with the hackle and rib now in place, carefully trim off the tip of the hackle and then remove the waist ends of the tinsel and the hackle stem. Now this is a Hairwing Wickham, and the wing comprises a slim pinch of fox squirrel fur from the pelt. So we tear that from the skin and then remove any of the soft under fibres, and then offer the pinch up to the hook, judge it for length, and then catch it in place with 2 or 3 nice tight thread turns. Then make 2 or 3 more directly onto the hook behind the eye. This prevents cutting the thread, and then trim off the waste. Add further tight turns of thread to lock the wing in place. Then, from a jungle cock cape, take 1 small feather, split it in half, then offer 1/2 up to the hook and catch it in as a cheek on the near side. A couple of thread turns there just to position it. Take the other half and repeat the process on the far side of the hook. That done, trim off the loose ends carefully. Then, with the tying thread, build a nice neat head, and then cast off the thread with a 3 or 4 turn whip finish. Draw it tight, take the scissors and snip off the loose end. To complete the fly, simply add a little touch of clear varnish to the head. And there it is, Rob Denson's Hairwing Wickham.